Good evening, everybody. I'm Dion Lim. Here's what you need to know right now about the Kincade Fire and the Pg&E power shutoffs. A civil emergency has been declared in Sonoma County, and just minutes ago, the mandatory evacuations were expanded from Healdsburg and Windsor all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Now, looking at your screen, that includes most of the area along the Russian River all the way to Bodega Bay. And the area around the Kincade Fire, that includes Geyserville, continues to be under mandatory evacuation. Now, this was the scene on Highway 101 this afternoon. After that order was announced for Healdsburg and Windsor, you can see all of that traffic, that action taken because of the changing wind conditions and the effect on the Kincade Fire. The new evacuation area is west of that fire. As of the last CAL FIRE update, the Kincade Fire has grown to over 25,000 acres and was only 10% contained. Crews are throwing everything they have at this fire to try and get a better handle on it before those winds blow up overnight. Two large aircraft have now joined that firefight. You see a 747 and a DC-10. They were dropping a lot of fire retardant earlier this afternoon. And the fire put up this huge plume of smoke, looking like a mushroom cloud to be exact, at one point. Now, there are 3 new evacuation centers for those who have to leave the Kincade Fire area. They include the following: Santa Rosa Veterans Hall at 1351 Maple Street in Santa Rosa, the Petaluma Veterans Hall, that's at 1094 Petaluma Boulevard South, and Sonoma Marin Fairgrounds in Petaluma, also accepting evacuees. They are at 175 Fairgrounds Drive in Petaluma. CAL FIRE just updated the Kincade Fire tonight.
What we expect is, as we approach the midnight hour tonight, roughly between 10 p.m. and midnight, we're going to get a very strong burst of northeast winds that are going to hit the fire area. Those winds will increase overnight and peak through Sunday morning. We're expecting exceptional wind speeds of 60 to 80 mile an hour wind gusts with sustained winds of 30 to 40 miles an hour. Again, it's a long duration event, so it's going to blow for most of the night and through midday Sunday with very little reprieve in the wind speeds. So that's the situation that we're looking at in terms of the weather.
Over the last 12 hours, we've ran multiple models, multiple scenarios with this fire. It is going to have some dangerous rates of spread, extreme long-range spotting over 1 mile, and some very high flame lengths. As it gets down into these canyon drainages tonight with that northeast push at midnight, we're going to see those rates increase dramatically and the fire behavior increase dramatically.
Now, speaking of winds, Governor Newsom said he did not want to sugarcoat the situation when it comes to the weather and how serious it is. Meteorologist Sandia Patel standing by with the wind conditions right now. Sandia.
Yeah, Dion, and right now consider this the calm before the ferocious winds arrive. Let's take a look at the conditions at this hour in the hills. Gusting to 10 miles an hour, Mount Diablo. Hawkeye is about 7 miles an hour, pretty light at this hour. Look at the Kincade Fire conditions there also in terms of the winds. Very light. It is cooler. 69 degrees. The relative humidity has come up 32%. So hopefully this will help the firefighters gain a handle on that big blaze. As you take a look at the next 24 hours, the winds really ramp up out of the northeast beginning at midnight. At 3 a.m., 51 mile an hour wind gusts are expected. That is a very drying wind, and that's why extreme fire behavior is possible. A red flag warning begins at 8 p.m. tonight in the East Bay and the North Bay. It runs until 11 a.m. Monday. It begins at 3 a.m. Sunday for the San Francisco Peninsula coastline into the Santa Cruz Mountains. Wind gusts could reach anywhere between 65 to 80 miles an hour. When you have very low humidity, this is why it is a serious concern. We also have a high wind warning that begins in the North Bay Mountains at 8 p.m. tonight, and it runs all the way through Monday morning. The area shaded in lighter yellow is a wind advisory that begins in the wee hours of the morning while you're sleeping tomorrow, and it runs until Monday morning. Now, watch out. Down trees and power lines, certainly possible, along with power outages. I want to show you the hour-by-hour wind forecast. This is critical here. 11 p.m., the winds begin to increase in the North Bay. You will notice Calistoga, 31 mile an hour winds, but the color and the intensity of the color and the wind flow begins to increase. At 2 a.m., 46 mile an hour winds in Santa Rosa, 45 Calistoga. The winds continue to ramp up to 50 miles an hour at 4 a.m. tomorrow. So this is going to be a huge concern. 41 in Napa as we continue into 10 a.m. Sunday morning. Still very blustery, 43 mile an hour winds there at Calistoga. Even places like Oakland, San Francisco, close to 30 mile an hour winds. Later on in the afternoon and the evening, the winds do start to dial back, but the danger is still going to be there. So this is, of course, a huge concern as we head into later on tonight and tomorrow. Dion?
All right, Sandia, and adding to that dire weather situation, the Bay Area is under spare the air alert because of the smoke from the Kincade Fire drifting south along the coast. The South and Central Bay Area as well. We are taking a look from Sky 7 that was shot earlier today. You can see those conditions in the atmosphere. Now, earlier today, Governor Newsom gave a briefing on the fire and the power outages. He did not mince words. A lot of cities in the Bay Area are on PG&E's list in this latest planned power outage. Some were added at the last minute this morning. We do have a full list of those at our website, ABC7News.com. You can see the link near the top of our homepage. As you can imagine, the situation quickly changing minute by minute, so be sure to keep updated at our website, ABC7News.com, if you haven't already, and download the free ABC7 News app. We are constantly sending push notifications on all the developments with the power shutoffs and the Kincade Fire.